Thanks to our Patreon supporters, Claire G, Carson C, Jacqueline M, Matt J, James P, and Michael. If you like our podcast and would like to support it, you can do it at patreon.com/whatweremember. Get exclusive episodes that you can only get on Patreon. Thanks. For some reason I leaned into the microphone when I didn't have the record button hit. Just habit. It's that Sister Act 2 back in the habit.
It feels good.
You feels good.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh, baby, baby.
Ooh. 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 That's it.
That was it.
Andy Hubert's not much for improv.
I was not.
He just gets enthralled. He like becomes part of the audience.
I want to see where it's going. Yeah, I do. I really do.
Like we're an improv troupe that goes onto the stage, and then he for some reason walks into the audience and just watches us.
I'm the only person
laughing.
I'm the only person that gets to enjoy any of like the visual jokes that we make on this podcast, you know. And so then sometimes I just want to take a step back and not be associated with you two because you embarrass me. You embarrass me.
My name is Bradley Jones.
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
And I'm Andy Hubert.
And this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to remember what happened in a movie we haven't seen in a very, very long time. This is what we remember about Trading Places.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
I was trying to do a Christmassy thing. I don't know.
It was good. It was good.
I like the high-pitched singing.
We'll bust out our Christmas cover.
Your Christmas covers? What is that? Like a Santa Claus sheet that you have?
No, it's just me singing Christmas songs.
It's a dead reindeer hide that you drape over your bed during Christmas.
This is my cover.
This is my Christmas cover.
What are you trying to cover up?
What's under there? Dead elves?
Whoa, hey!
What's going
down
on
over there?
I don't know. We're here to talk about Trading Places. Let's do it.
All right. So, Andy,
Is this it's got Dan Actroyd in it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's got
Danny Actroyd Vito.
And Edwin Murphy.
Edwinius
Murphy.
Murphys.
Okay.
Jamie Lee Curtins.
Jamie Lee Curtis is
Jamie Lee Curtins is in
yeah.
this.
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtins.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Lee Curtins.
And then 2 old people.
Yeah, the 2 Muppets.
The 2 Muppets,
from...
yeah. Statler and Waldorf are in this
They're
movie.
both in this movie.
Statler Waldorf.
Well, that one guy played Chance, or not Chance, the rapper, on Shadow in Homeward Bound.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true.
It was.
Don Amici?
Yes. Never forget that name now.
And I don't know who the other guy is, but they're definitely Stanley and Waldorf.
But I was going to say, this movie is directed by the guy that did Blues Brothers and Animal House with John
Hamm. John John Waters.
Maybe his name's not John.
John Landis.
John Landis. There it is.
American Werewolf in London. Did you just say that?
I didn't say that one, but
Oh.
he did that as well.
Yeah, I like his films. Mm-hmm. Blues
You
Brothers.
like Beverly Hills Cop 3?
Yeah, do you do that one?
Yeah.
Oh. I liked it as a kid. It's goofy as F, but...
I don't even know if I saw that one.
Oh, it's so silly.
I think that's the first one I saw, because I saw it when I was a kid as well.
It doesn't make sense. It's like the
Yeah.
Indiana Jones 4 of the Beverly Hills Cop world.
It's like the National Lampoon's Vacation
It
of
is.
Beverly Hills.
National Lampoon's Beverly Hills
Yeah.
Cop.
You can't do a serious movie in a theme park unless there's zombies in it. That's what history has told us.
Yeah, that is borne out.
Well,
So this is
Axel
what
has to
we
Axel has to
remember
ride again.
about Adventureland. Oh no, wait, Zombieland.
Zombieland. Well,
Oh.
there was also a movie.
Yeah, like
called
around the same
Adventureland,
time. That
which-
happened like 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Not to mention Nick Nor's Infinite Playlist again on this podcast, because it's always a sore...
Never saw it.
It's a sore spot for someone. I thought it was a sore spot for someone on this podcast.
I like that movie.
Oh, never mind then.
Someone else in another podcast. In another blue room.
It's green now.
With some green.
What's the first scene in this movie, Brad? Okay.
Wow, calling it
I
out.
think it's like a
putting the
Wall
pressure on.
Street, just like ticker, like marketplace thing going on. Because this movie is all about them stocks.
It's all about the money.
It's all about the money.
Yeah. I mean, the
Trading
cover of
them
this
stocks.
movie, Eddie Murphy's just laying in a bed of money.
That's Brewster's Millions.
Oh, Richard Pryor again.
That's that Robert
I got Richard Pryor again.
That's Indecent Proposal. That's the movie you're thinking of.
Oh, no. Indecent Proposal, that's also like Honeymoon in Vegas?
It's a silly little film, but yeah, it's a lot like Honeymoon in Vegas. Which is, how'd you pull that one out?
Because I know that.
I love Honeymoon in Vegas.
Yeah. You like some Nicolas Cage?
I do, and SJP's in that movie. And we got
SJP?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh,
Come on, girl.
Keep up, bro.
Come on, girl.
And then the other one's Demi Moore,
Robbie Reddy
Robert Redford,
and Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. And then the other one is what, James Caan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Same freaking movie.
I like it. I like both. So
I mean, Honeymoon in Vegas is more entertaining.
the plot line of Indecent Exposure shouldn't be a movie. It should just be like an idea that never got made into a movie. Because it's like, oh, that's a fun idea. For an hour and a half, we're gonna watch that.
Yeah.
No.
That's a good point.
No.
Honeymoon
There's
in
only
Vegas
one
is
thing
good.
that happens. That is a good movie.
He parachutes from a plane dressed as Elvis at the end, doesn't he?
Are we doing that movie instead now? Is it Andy Hubert seen it?
Yeah, I was trying to hijack the podcast.
Just like how the two old men try to hijack the stock market.
They do.
In trading places.
Pulling it back.
Okay, so you said the first scene is on Wall Street.
I think the
Probably-
first
I think
scene
it's
is
just
Dan Aykroyd at work.
Yeah. It's just like the market happening.
being a stock trader, broker.
Yeah.
He's such a flat character. I remember he's just
pretentious.
Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
Richie
He's a
Rich.
high class rich guy.
And he just
He's
wants
a-
to get to the top.
He's a Richie Rich, grew up, and was still the same old snotty,
And
little
he's-
prissy kid.
He's being like either he's like the son of the guy that owns the place, or he's being groomed
I think
to
he's
be like
dating somebody
No.
that might be
He
important.
just feels like he's being... I don't even know. He might be being groomed, but I think he just feels like he's being groomed to be the next... Like, I think
next big corporate
one of the
guy.
big... Like, when they call him in to their office for something, like, after they decide to mess with him, like, he thinks they're about to make him a partner, I think, at the firm.
Right.
And then it turns out that is not the case.
just like in the firm.
Yeah. Let's talk about... in the firm.
Let's talk about every movie that isn't this movie
Yeah.
in this podcast.
There's nothing really that like these two older guys.
Yep.
They just like to play games.
Yes.
They have no motivation.
They
to do
compete with
this.
each other on things, and
Okay.
and so they have this standard bet between where they'll bet each other the usual, and then make some crazy idea like.
And isn't it kind of
shake
because
aside.
like they're so incredibly
Well, they're
wealthy?
bored, yeah.
They're bored.
They're
with
Yeah,
wealthy
their lives.
exactly. Yeah, it's like those old
So they
like
like
the
to have, like, crazy
Ross
bets.
Perot skits they used to on SNL where you just like, I'll pay you $1,000 to get on the ground and bark like a dog. Or you're just bored.
So old.
And
Haven't seen those.
Nobody has.
classic.
I think
Okay.
they made them up
The two of them are talking, and
in the bathroom.
one of them is basically saying that anybody could
Run the company.
could do a better job
Yeah.
than like could do this job. Like it's sort of like this secret. I think that anyone could do it. Maybe I'm wrong though.
No. I thought you were. You
That's what I
trailed
feel
off.
like.
I thought you were-
And
that you had
well,
more
one
a
of them
point.
says that so it's like I could find anybody off the street to do this job, and the other one's like, no way, like that's no way anyone could ever do this, and so that's how they come up with the wager. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how they pick
So Eddie Murphy
Dan
is
Aykroyd. I don't know how
Oh.
they decide to choose him as
because
the guy to replace.
because he's just like
He's
in charge of a big part of the
he
company.
has a stick up his butt. And
Yeah.
They also
I
don't
think
like
they-
him,
Yeah, I think you're. Yeah.
They realize he has a stick up his butt, so they're like, let's just mess with him. Mm-hmm. But then they pick Eddie Murphy,
who is he's a homeless man, I think. He's on the street a lot begging for money. He does a fake out where he's on like a little scooter. He doesn't have any legs and he's a war vet, but then he just stands up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 2 cops come over and they lift him up, and then he's like, I can walk! I have legs! And he's like, I can't believe it! It's a miracle! It's a Christmas miracle!
Oh yeah, we're doing a Christmas movie I forgot to even say that.
For Christmas.
This is our Christmas film.
Yeah, so that was his Christmas present. He has legs.
Yes.
And the cops just like tell him to buzz off or something like that.
Yeah,
But he's
you have to
always
get
like
out of
right outside their...
Their building.
Yeah. And they roll up with like a limousine or something like
Yeah,
that.
Yes.
they pick him up in a limo.
And they're like, hey,
You want
come with us.
You want to make some money or whatever?
Yeah.
They're called the Dukes. I'm remembering
Yes,
that
that's
now.
right. The Duke brothers.
Dukes.
2 brothers.
And they tell him about like this job and they want to give him this position or whatever. He doesn't even realize like Dan Aykroyd is being shafted out of his job.
Yes, he has
Right.
no idea.
There's a giant moment where like Dan Aykroyd's life just comes crumbling down around him.
Yeah.
All his friends like don't recognize him or don't know where he is. He tries to go home. His butler pretends like he never knew he existed. He just like all his bank money's gone. He's just like this poor schlub.
Yeah, he becomes
Yeah.
homeless essentially immediately.
It's like they trade places.
Oh, they should have called the movie something a little
Yeah,
more
switch them ups.
It's a
Switch
switch. It's
them
an
up.
old
Switch
1-2.
The 1-2 switcheroo.
We had the same thought. I just couldn't get it out quick enough.
Yeah.
It's like the old phonesy onesie twosie. You know? You gotta...
The 1-2 switcheroo.
The 1-2
1-2
switcheroo.
So he even gets like Dan Aykroyd's house.
Yep,
He does.
He
And
does.
his butler.
and the butler.
And the butler, who was a great guy.
And the butler likes him way more.
Yeah.
So does this mean that like the company paid for Dan Aykroyd's house and butler?
I don't know.
Hard
He's
to
gotta have
say.
more
if
of a
it's
role.
that the company could, or if it's just that the Duke brothers have so
possible.
much power that they could just make this happen.
I think it's a company house or apartment or loft.
It could be.
And
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think he has a higher position than we think he does in this business, but he's not to their level.
So yeah, so we see Dan Aykroyd's fall.
Yes.
and
he blames Eddie Murphy's character for this.
right, because he sees like them, courting his character, and like Eddie Murphy like gets his house and all that stuff. I think he comes to the door knocking, and
Well, Eddie Murphy has a house full of like strippers and just like there's naked ladies and drug dealers happening like all over the place, and he almost takes a step back out of it. Like he realizes this is wrong and that's not what he should be doing anymore. He like shoos everyone out of the house.
yeah,
And he has like this moment with the butler, like I'm sorry that this happened or whatever, and blah blah blah.
Your friends seem to enjoy themselves, sir. I thought it was a great success.
There wasn't no friends of mine, Coleman. It was a bunch of freeloaders treating my house like it was a goddamn zoo.
Why don't you retire, sir, and I'll straighten up. You've got a big day ahead of you tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I will, retire. Good night, Coleman. Thanks, man.
Good night, sir.
Dan Aykroyd on his end dresses up like a Santa Claus, gets crazy drunk.
Yep.
Goes to his like. So he's in like a sorority, like well, that's not what it's called. Fraternity. That's the one.
yeah.
He could be in a sorority.
Yeah.
Maybe they put him in one.
He had a smoking hot girlfriend, probably named
Babe.
with like a tennis
Kitty.
sweater on. Yeah, Kitty.
Bunny, something like that.
Everyone's wearing just like neon colored shirts and white pants with brown belts. And
Those damn brown belts.
and he goes to like one of their like dinner parties belligerently. Belligerent?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Drunk
No, you're right.
and makes a big scene.
Yes.
And he's there's this really dumb joke that always got stuck in my head. Like right before he gets to the party, one of the snotty little Chads or whatever, I'm gonna call him Chad.
That's a good name for a snooty rich guy. It's good.
He says he wanted to paint an S on his car so he could watch that S car go.
I want a big S put on each door, a big S, and on top of the car, I want another big S, so everybody can see it. Oh, the salesman says, but what do you want that for? He said, well, you see, when I drive down the avenue, I want everybody to say, look at that S car go.
Look at the S car go.
And I'm like, fucking Chad!
Wow.
Goddamn Chad.
Pretentious Richie kid making a snail joke.
Yeah. This is the worst joke I've ever heard.
Now, is that where he meets Jamie Lee Curtis? Was she like an escort at this event, or does he?
Yeah,
meet her
he
on
gets
the
so
street?
drunk that Jamie Lee Curtis ends up like picking him up off the street.
Yeah, so she's a prostitute.
Whoa, she is a
She's a lady
working
of the night.
woman, Andy.
She is a lady of the night.
She's doing what
Yes.
she can.
Yes, an escort. An escort. Is that better?
I believe you even see her earlier in the movie, like on the side of the street or something like that.
That could be.
Yeah,
Okay,
she's got a
into it.
really, she's got a wig on. She's got that, that stripper outfit on. Not
Yeah.
stripper, but lady of the night outfit on.
I think I want to paint an S on a court so I can see that escort go. Okay, it didn't land.
It landed. It just
We'll workshop it. We'll get there, buddy.
We're working on that one.
It just landed with a ding instead of a bang.
Yeah, okay. I'll take it.
Jamie Lee Curtis takes him back to her place, and that's kind of where he survives for this movie.
You're burying the lead here, Andy.
Am I?
Yeah. She gets naked
Well, yeah.
and hugs up on. Oh God! And hugs up on
yeah.
Dan Actroyd because he's sick. He's got a nasty, nasty cold.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
But why is she smitten with him? Why does she
just
want to
feels
help
bad
him?
for him.
Yeah,
She
she feels bad for him, yeah.
I also think maybe he promises her money,
Oh, I bet he does.
and she's like, "There's no way you have that money." It's like because she thinks he's lying about being rich and that his story's made up.
Right, because I think isn't there a scene where he tries to pay her for sex and then she turns down the money, but like she didn't want the money or something like that?
Well, I think near the end, there's there's definitely a scene where
Okay.
he's like, "Here's the
Yeah.
here's the money I promised you at the beginning of the movie," and she's like, "I don't want the money anymore. I just like you." And he's like, "Well, I'm rich now, so get away."
Wow, Andy, you gave me chills, Andy. I thought you were saying that to me.
Get away! I never want to see your face in this house again.
Yeah, I think that's like the
Ooh.
big twist at the
Ooh.
end is when they're like, "We're just in love now, though."
Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd?
Yeah, of
Oh,
course.
ship it.
Hell yeah.
Ship it.
Ship it.
Have you guys been reading my fan fiction?
Well, you keep on like coming to my house and making me read it in front of you, so yes.
I'm so happy.
I
Wait,
have
are
been
you
reading
telling
it.
me
Keep
you're
asking?
working on that damn Trading Places fan fiction still?
Andy
Of
comes to
course.
my house with a gun dressed as a Santa Claus, like Dan Aykroyd does in this
Routinely.
movie, and makes me read his fanfic.
Yeah.
It's the only way he'll read it.
And
That's
he
why
does,
you're not finishing it, because you're just showing up to Brad's house to have him read the same stuff over and
Yeah,
over.
you're not taking any of my notes. You're not making any changes.
You haven't
Yeah.
I've
written
reread
anything.
the same script for 10 years now.
Guys, I hear what you're saying, but I have a method.
You have a
He's got a gun.
That's his method. Oh God.
So let's go to Eddie Murphy.
There is a moment where Dan Aykroyd does like go to him with a gun, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He does have a gun at some point.
I thought he confronts Eddie Murphy with the
think he
gun.
does. I think
Maybe
you're
I
right.
don't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what. I feel like you're right, but I don't know. Does he break into the house that Eddie Murphy's living at?
It's his own house.
right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Not
maybe.
anymore, but-
right.
Could be it.
There's also a moment where Eddie Murphy finds out what the Dukes were doing.
Yeah, so
Yes.
He overhears them in the
they have
bathroom.
like they bring Eddie Murphy to the company and they like sit him in the giant boardroom where it's just them and they're like the ticker tape is cranking away, showing stocks for the day, and the two of them are discussing what the trades they want to make,
Yes.
and they talk about pork belly futures and whether they should short pork bellies or not. And Eddie Murphy gives them his sage advice, which is that people love to buy pork bellies at Christmas, so you should definitely buy into pork bellies, and they do, and it actually makes them quite a bit of money.
Okay. Later on, once he's like already established in this company, he is in the bathroom and he's in one of the stalls and he overhears them talking
about yeah.
One of the Dukes gives the other one $1 because he like proved
won
him
the bet,
wrong.
yep.
You're
Yeah.
right. Anybody could do this job.
The stand,
Right,
yeah.
so the
what was
problem
it,
is
what
they
was the
make-
bet?
Standard-
The usual, yeah, the
usual
standard
bet.
bet, and he takes out a single dollar and like they ruin this guy's life for $1. Like,
Oh,
is
wow.
kind of like the crazy implication.
Eddie Murphy feels slighted because they make him sound like he's the idiot.
Yeah.
They feel, he feels used.
Well, they're
and-
also going to put him back on the street. They're
That-
gonna,
yeah, I
they're
think
just going to
so.
like fix it all again.
Yeah.
But they're also not going to hire Dan Aykroyd back. they're going to give the shaft to both of them.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's so hard.
Cold-hearted snake, you don't play by rules.
Damn, Wall Street is terrible.
The money never sleeps there, I hear.
There's a lot of greed.
Yeah.
Greed.
And wolves. Wolves on Wall
That's-
Street.
I only know about
Gordon
Wall
Gekko.
Street through movies. So, in Batman 3, when Bane takes over the stock market,
Whoa.
what's happening in that sequence? I forget now.
Batman Forever?
Yeah, Batman
Which Batman
Forever.
3?
No, we have to say that. That makes me sad.
Oh, man.
Which Batman 3? Ugh.
I've never heard anyone call The Dark Knight Returns Batman 3.
It's Batman 3. You got Batman 1, Batman 2, and Batman 3.
I mean, you're right. You were right. I just have never heard anyone call it that.
The other one's just Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman
And Robin.
Beyond. What? No, Robin?
Beyond.
That
Yeah.
was a good animated series.
And the other ones are the 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Is it just me?
Okay, I see your point. I see your point is valid.
Yeah. Valid
So
like
now
Kilmer.
that Eddie Murphy knows what's going on, I think he just goes to Dan Aykroyd to
Yeah.
explain the situation.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he finds them and tells them
They
what's
go to
been
their
happening.
house. He goes to his house too and like explains everything.
And so Jamie Lee Curtis is also in on what's going on as well.
Right.
Dan Aykroyd might even come to him like super drunk and him like trying to get him sobered again to listen to reason.
That
Yeah.
could be.
And Eddie Murphy and the butler kind of like bring him down and talk him down, settle it up.
And that's when they decide that they need to come up with some sort of plan to get back at the Duke brothers.
Yeah, they hatch a plan. It has something to do with the subway.
Eddie Murphy knows that the Dukes are getting inside trading information.
Yes. They have a secret
From-
report
yeah.
about the state of the orange crop in Florida.
Oh.
That's going to get it's like an EPA report or something, or Department of Agriculture report about
Yeah.
this year's fruit orange harvest, and they stole a copy and are gonna get it before anyone else does.
Essentially, what is it, like a deep throat? Just like an undercover agent guy who's going to make the trade with the Dukes.
Yeah.
So they try to like intercept that, and that's kind of
Does that like happen on like a train or something?
yeah. It happens on a subway train.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do they like switch briefcases or something? Is it
So they-
one of
yeah.
those situations?
So Eddie Murphy's wearing like an African robe, and he keeps on making like really funny noises. Jamie Lee Curtis is wearing lederhosen, and she's like got her boobs all out, and she's like pressing them around and dancing around, like looking all nice. I think
Okay.
Dan Aykroyd might be like a rabbi.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sure.
Or maybe
Wow.
the butler. The butler's like this old rabbi guy.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
all in it. Okay.
And I forget what Dan Aykroyd. Like each of them have a job to do on this train. But for whatever reason, there's this subplot that I would like. Oh, subway. I get it. Subplot. Where there's a monkey being transported on this train.
Oh,
and there's and I think like Jim Belushi is in this movie dressed like a monkey.
Yes.
And he ends up
Yes,
like
he
and he
is.
ends up like getting switched with the
Whoa.
monkey somehow. I don't know why this happened.
I don't
It
remember
doesn't
that at
impact
all.
the plot
What?
at all.
Oh man.
I totally remember this monkey
Yeah.
situation. I remember being confused.
there are like some two like druggy people moving luggage around, and they like tease the monkey, and like whatever reason, like his monkey costume gets like glued onto his head, and then they just gets like a mix up with the monkey.
oh boy.
Was there an actual monkey?
Yeah, it's a guy in a
And a monkey
suit.
costume? Oh,
Yeah.
it's just a guy in a
So
suit.
it's a Halloween kind of
Oh,
train party thing I think happening.
But it's about Christmas time though.
Well, Christmas is over.
okay.
Or just happened or is coming.
Oh boy.
Which are the 3 states of Christmas? In case anyone was wondering.
That's the 3 states of the year.
So they pulled the switcheroo, which is the name of the movie.
Uh-huh.
They pulled the 1-2 switcheroo on the undercover agent guy.
Yes.
He sees it happening, pulls a gun on them on the train, and then the monkey ends up beating the guy up and stopping. He stops the undercover agent.
I'm so confused.
There's
Is
a
there a
giant
real
gorilla.
monkey, or
There's
is
a
there
giant gorilla.
or is there a guy
Sorry,
in a costume?
I keep saying monkey. There's a gorilla.
Is there a real gorilla, or is there a guy in a
Both.
costume?
Jim Belushi.
There's both?
Jim Belushi.
How is there both?
How is this on a subway? Are you sure this isn't like an actual train?
No, it's
thing.
definitely on a subway. I know it's on a subway.
It could be on a train.
I think it's on a train. I think it's on like a train, real train.
Or a fancy train.
I'm sure they're on a subway at some point for something.
It's probably a train.
Okay.
But for some reason, it does seem very dark.
Listen, a subway is a train underground.
Yeah.
Those are facts. We've had a lot of facts on this podcast.
Yeah, I do think
Those
this
are
is,
the facts.
I do think it's a real train. I think it's like the guy with the reports taking the train from Florida all the way back to New York to give them
what
the
a
orange
miserable
report.
ride.
My baby takes the morning train. He works till 9 to 5 again. But they end up getting the real reports.
So they switch. They give him a fake case though, don't they?
Well, they do the 1-2 switcheroo.
Switcheroo.
Dan Aykroyd pretends to be the undercover agent guy. He meets with the
Because they
dude,
knock him out.
Yes.
and he gives them bad info.
He gives them a
Oh,
report
don't
that says
they-
the opposite of what it
Don't
actually
they
says.
knock out that guy and put him in the monkey suit?
Maybe.
I think that's what happens. They knock out the
Yeah.
shady guy, put him in a monkey
I like
suit,
that.
and he can't get out of the monkey suit.
And him and the
Yes.
gorilla like have like a moment
Oh,
where it's like
no.
that guy is gonna get it.
You're gonna get gorilla raped.
Yeah. He got graped.
But I think there's even like a Stockholm syndrome where that guy like likes the monkey.
You liked it?
Yeah.
You wanted more of it?
I think so. He's like, I'm here. I might as well go for it.
Oh no! You're right. So they give them the fake report. So then the Duke brothers think that the crop's like in bad shape or something. It doesn't matter. They either think it's going to do
Yeah.
really well or really bad, but the opposite is true.
So there's like a 7-minute explanation of the end of this film that I
Yes.
still don't understand after hearing the explanation. I don't know how they end up.
So Brad, how did
screwing up the
you
market.
like The Big Short?
So the ending.
So we get the
what,
fun
What part were
ending.
you confused about?
How do they screw over the Dukes?
I'm imagining that the original report says the crops are going to fail, right?
So the idea, so they're buying futures, orange futures, which is saying that they're essentially buying orange crops before they exist at a specific price. And they think that the orange crop is going to be bad. So if the orange crop is bad, that means the oranges that do exist are going to be much higher in price because there's going to be less of them. So they're buying oranges at a higher price, like a higher price right now, with the intention that they'll be worth even more later. So essentially, buying them now is going to cost less in the future, so that they can sell them then and make profit.
Okay.
Because the opposite is true, Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy let the Duke brothers like start buying like crazy. People realize they're buying like crazy. The price starts to shoot way up, and then they announce that they're selling, I think, a bunch of futures at a crazy price. So everyone starts buying. Essentially, everyone starts selling the futures to them. So they end up with all this stuff that the Duke brothers bought, knowing that the price is going to go way down and the Duke brothers will have to pay them way more than the oranges are actually going to be worth.
yeah.
Is my understanding. I think that's
Okay.
more or less how it works.
Okay.
So the Duke
that
brothers
makes
are going to
sense.
owe them a ton of money for oranges that are not worth much because the
Right.
harvest was really good, which
So
will ruin the
were
Duke
they like
brothers' company.
shorting that future?
Yeah, so they were essentially shorting the future.
Yeah.
The orange futures, betting that the orange futures were going to crash, and that's why the Dukes end up owing them all their money and are ruined financially because apparently they managed to
'Cause they
risk their entire
flipped-
company.
I know.
on this.
Why would you do
And
that?
also get arrested.
They lost all their money, then got arrested.
Yes. I also don't understand how, like, Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd don't get arrested because didn't they also?
You would think.
You'd think, right? But they're
Well,
the
what
good, they're the
did
good
they
guys,
do?
though.
Yeah.
I mean, they
all
also
did-
knew about the state of the market, and then like we're making their bets on that.
Did they bet on that?
Yeah, because they read the report. They knew what the actual thing was going to be. That's how they made the false report, and so they knew that.
Oh,
they could
that's a
ruin the
good
Dukes
point.
by
That's,
doing the other
I'm
thing.
gonna have to watch that part.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Well, this is it. The last bastion of pure capitalism left on Earth. Here in New York, they trade everything. Gold, silver, platinum, heating oil, propane, cocoa and sugar, and of course, frozen concentrated orange juice. Now, the people on the phones are taking orders from brokerage houses all over the world. The runners then hand those orders to the traders in the pits. They're trading cotton over there. That's the silver pit. Now, the Duke's trader is going to be buying like crazy right from the opening.
We'll be waiting until he drives the price up.
Right. I can't wait to see his face when they broadcast that genuine crop report. OJ trading opens at 9.
Let's go kick some butt.
Yeah.
While that sale is happening, pay attention to Eddie Murphy. He is noticeably doesn't know what he's doing. And he's just smiling and taking slips and like saying
Yes.
things on camera.
Because
It's very
there's like
funny.
a whole lingo in the pit, of the trading floor, and Dan Aykroyd's the one that knows. Eddie Murphy is really funny in that scene because he's just trying to like survive.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, and it is so confusing. Everyone's just throwing papers at them, like, I'll sell you all this stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of how the stock market is.
Yeah.
On the trading floor there. Mm-hmm. Just full of like just garbage all the time, all over the place.
Yeah.
You're talking about the people, right?
Got
Wow,
Yeah.
wowza.
Yeah.
Hey,
that, stock
They
traders.
need to get got.
Zing.
Nobody is getting at them. We need to get at them.
I don't know what that voice was.
What do you mean?
I like
We gotta
it.
get at them.
We gonna get at them.
What's sad is you can't make that final scene today because they don't-
Electronic selling?
People don't do that selling anymore. It's all done electronically by computers
Well,
in
we'll
fractions of a
watch
second.
Wall Street 2, Money Never Sleeps. We'll figure out what happened in that movie.
See what
'Cause
the booth.
That's more of a modern
doing.
trading film.
The booth.
That's what I call it. That's what his friends call him, the booth.
Nobody calls him that.
His friends do, like me.
Are you the boof's friends?
I'm the boof's friend. What up, boof?
Oh, I bet Boof is the name of Dan Aykroyd's girlfriend. That we couldn't remember it.
There it is.
Classic.
Hey, boof.
What up, boof?
You think there's anyone out there that would call their girlfriend boof?
I think that's the actual name of a girl.
Is it?
You think so?
I thought so. Is it like
Boof?
a cute thing to say?
I don't know.
Are you thinking of Bay?
Can all the
No.
podcasters start calling their girlfriends boof?
What up, boof?
Isn't there like there was a character in a movie that we watched named Boof, wasn't there?
Not that I can
boof.
remember.
The boof. The boof. The boof. The boof. I just remember it from 3 minutes ago when Andy said the boof.
Here comes the Boof starring Kevin James.
Oh,
Here comes
boy.
the boof.
Here comes the boof. Sounds like an inherently less violent movie.
Oh. He's on the cover of Boof
Here comes the
magazine.
boof.
Eating a bag of Ruffles. The boof.
I think that's the movie, though, right?
This is a part one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not ending.
Oh, I know.
Wait,
I'm saying I think
it feels
that's
like you're ending it.
No, well, I feel like we're at the end of the movie.
Well, it would just. Yeah. Oh.
yeah.
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 What do you think? You think we missed something?
No, try to the Dukes get arrested.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
They are theoretically rich. Is there a scene after that? Or is that
No,
the
it just
credits?
fades out.
Okay.
It's a fade
That's
out.
just fade to credits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if there was
Oh,
like
maybe
a
there's
scene
like a monkey. Maybe that Stockholm monkey thing happens.
yeah,
we're gonna shut that guy in the
It could be.
And then the cars crash in Chicago, and then the Blues Brothers come out, and they're like, "Ugh." That classic,
Yeah.
that classic Bruise Brothers,
Bruise Brothers.
classic Bruise Brothers line.
Bruise Brothers 5000.
You guys know what I'm? You guys all know the lines. and
Yeah.
it's like AMC's top 100 lines of all time. Here comes the Blues.
We're the Bruise Brothers.
with the Bruise Brothers. I'm Larry. He's the
Elham.
Elham.
I really want to watch this Bruce Brothers
The
movie.
Bruise Brothers movie.
The Bruce Brothers.
the Bruise Brothers.
They're just
Yeah.
drunk all the time.
Well, you kind of sandwich the and the blues at the same blues.
The Bruce
Brothers. You have to say them at the
Bruise
same
Brothers.
time.
Bruise Brothers. We gotta get the court back together, the band back together. Let's Supreme Court.
We gotta get the brand back together.
We gotta the brand.
Everything is just BRs inserted in random words.
What are you talking about?
Wait, what?
What?
What are you
What are you saying?
We gotta bribe all the way there.
That's a lot of bribing.
I don't have enough money for this bribe.
Under heavy security, the crop estimates for next year's orange crop are being delivered from Miami to the Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
Louis, that's him. That's the guy who paid me to talk dirty to you.
In charge of security is Mr. Clarence Beeks, head of Lyndhurst Security.
Clarence Beeks! The dude just gave that guy 10 grand.
10 grand. I saw an outlay in the payroll to him for 50,000. Mortimer said it was for research.
Yeah, researching how he can get his hands on that top secret crop report 2 days before it goes public.
My God. The Dukes are going to corner the entire frozen orange juice market.
Unless somebody stops him.
Or beats them to it. eggnog.
Welcome back to the Orange Juice Podcast. We watch Trading Places.
The Orange Juice Podcast.
Orange Juice Crop Podcast.
I thought
Sonny D, baby. Is that what they're talking about in this movie?
No, that's not
no,
orange
it's like
juice. It's
frozen
just frozen. It's the
concentrate.
stuff you get in the cans. That you
Do
throw
people
in
even
here.
want that anymore?
in the 80s they were like,
Shit.
oh, give me that.
That's like all I drank in the 90s. was frozen concentrated orange juice.
You didn't even put it in water. You just drink it right out of the
just
can.
ate it like a popsicle out of the freezer, like
Like a
It's just
creamsicle?
orange crushed ice. Ow.
It's like one of those Flintstone pops, but you just eat it out of the can.
Thanks, Mom.
That's gonna give you so many canker sores.
But I never got a cold.
You also never had a friend.
Well, I mean, yeah.
The Flintstones count.
I don't think that was because of the orange juice, though. That was. Oh boy, this movie.
I thought that Dan Aykroyd was annoying.
Yeah.
And
The whole time.
You don't think he ever got redeemed?
I thought that the ending sort of redeemed him, but I just wish he didn't have that accent whatsoever throughout the entire
His fancy
movie.
Richie Rich accent?
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Richie Rich grown up. He
Made my,
said that.
it made my skin crawl.
He's just
times.
fancy rich man accent.
I was glad that there was less of him than there was, I think, of Eddie Murphy. I loved Eddie Murphy. Every
Murphy
second he was on
was
screen. He was so
fantastic.
funny and great. Watching him in the very last scene when they're on the floor doing the selling and like it's all crazy and you just watch him and he'll like deliberately just point at a guy and be like, you write something down
Yeah.
and then point at another guy like really slow and it's so funny. He's so good.
Yeah, everything he does is a joke and it's incredible.
Yes.
Like if he's on screen, he's running his mouth about something. Mm-hmm. He's even like bumping into people or just finding moments to just make a joke or be funny.
Right.
And he
And
is funny.
he is,
Like,
he's so
regardless,
funny,
He's
man.
like so charismatic.
And he's very humble too. He'll make himself look bad. He'll put the comedy above his own expense and
Yeah.
like he'll fall on the floor and get choked by Dan Aykroyd for a gag, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Dan Aykroyd was in blackface.
I wasn't sure. I was
Yeah.
wondering how long it would take us to talk about this.
Yep. Dan.
We did not remember
Actroyd.
this. And
I don't remember.
The
There's
worst-
a lot of
Oh, boy.
racism flying in this movie.
Oh yeah.
so, yeah, there is.
John Amici is says he gets the hard
The
R.
hard R,
He delivers
man.
a hard R.
Yeah.
Was that Mortimer?
Yeah.
The stuck-up one that didn't want to.
The younger
that was
brother.
against the bet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hated him.
Hard
You're
R on
supposed
that
to.
one.
You're supposed to.
But no, the blackface, I think, I'm not going to say the worst thing about blackface because the blackface itself was probably the worst thing, because it is. But what made it even worse was the fact that I felt like it was so unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It was totally. Why did Dan Aykroyd even come into
I
the
don't know.
train
Why
room?
did they re-switch the briefcases?
Because they switched
Yeah,
the
I
cases.
got very confused by the re-switch.
Yeah, I didn't
That
understand.
Made no
Like
sense.
they got in there and they made the swap, and I was like, all right, caper
Oh.
accomplished.
and then they make another swap.
And then and Dan Aykroyd has to come in and do this thing. Why?
I know what happened. They pulled his briefcase out and switched it with a decoy.
Yeah.
Then took it out of the room so Dan Aykroyd could take the paperwork out and then switch him back.
Why?
Why though?
I don't know. So that so this guy wouldn't know that they were taken.
Totally
I don't know.
unnecessary. It didn't need to happen.
they already did the switcheroo.
Like when they kept going after they made the switcheroo, I was like, why are they all not just leaving? Their mission was accomplished. Unfurl the
mission was
banner, stand on the
accomplished.
carrier, mission accomplished.
Yeah, they just needed
Yeah.
to switch that briefcase.
I guess maybe they were worried he would
didn't work
look
in
into
terms
it?
of like the writing, I guess, because
It
they
was
needed
weird.
they needed the guy to see them switching it back or switching it in the first place. Because then he pulls out a gun on them.
I guess so.
So they needed
So
that, but
flimsy.
they wrote such a bad
yes,
situation.
and that's exactly what my thought is. The reason that had to happen was solely to get him in there, so that this seemingly pretty competent PI dirtbag guy takes until that moment to suddenly be like, I know it's all of you. He's met all of them.
Yes, he knows who all of them are.
He knows who all of them. Like Eddie Murphy isn't even remotely disguised.
right.
It's Jamie Lee Curtis.
He just comes in doing his Welcome to America character, and they're like, oh, it's probably fine. He's not going to recognize us.
Coming to America?
Yeah, sorry. Talk to me.
You better be sorry.
I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so Dan Aykroyd comes into the room, and basically blows the whole cover.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably was blown before then, but like that's like the final straw. It's like he doesn't need to be there.
It did seem like when he finally does like stand up, he's like, "All right, enough of this. I know all of you are idiot. Like, are you the idiots I've been dealing with?"
Or like Jamie Lee Curtis's wig could have got caught on something. There could have been any other.
You could see her hair underneath that hair.
Yeah. I don't know. That it seemed like I felt like the blackface didn't need to be there, which just made it worse than it already was.
Even Dan Aykroyd's character himself said the word Negro, and I was
Yes.
like,
That was, I think that that was
What?
supposed to like. I think that just solidifies him as like the jerkbag rich guy at that point.
Dan
like,
Aykroyd, more like can't Actroyd, am I right?
I wrote down, I know he was trying to cut his teeth as a serious actor, and I know why he didn't really get that.
What do you mean, Dr. Detroit?
What is that?
That's exactly. No one knows what
my
Dr.
goodness.
Detroit is. He got his cut in My Girl. You know, he was like a serious dad.
I think he got a couple movies. My Girl. He's in Driving Miss Daisy. He's in. Everything else is just, I don't know. It's garbage.
yeah.
Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
Blues
great.
Brothers is amazing.
And you don't like Ghostbusters for some reason, but that's a great movie.
Wait, what?
You don't like Ghostbusters.
Since when?
Since you saw it.
Andy, don't you remember that one
It was
time when you
years
don't
ago.
like
You said you didn't
Ghostbusters?
like it.
I did not say that.
Andy is on record, maybe even on the podcast.
Let's pull up. We're gonna go into the archives. We're gonna pull up the tape.
Not
luck.
liking Ghostbusters.
I like Ghostbusters.
Oh, jeez.
I had-
Flip flopping.
okay.
Flip flopping.
Oh my goodness.
When I was I had when I was a kid a whole Ghostbusters mansion that was 4 floors high, and it had all of the Ghostbusters.
You said you just watched it recently for the first time.
That is a falsehood, and you know it.
What is happening here?
I don't know. For years, I could have sworn Andy had a conversation with me
no.
about how we just
you guys
watched
have known each other
Ghostbusters,
for how long?
And he doesn't see why it's
now we're
why
hashing
everyone
this
likes
out.
it.
What is
Maybe
happening?
you said Ghostbusters and meant a different movie at the time.
Maybe I
Oh
don't
my
know
goodness.
where this is coming from.
Maybe he was talking about the new Ghostbusters.
Maybe.
Let's talk about Dan
I
Aykroyd
haven't
and the
even
new
seen that.
Ghostbusters.
He's in the new Ghostbusters.
Yeah, he has a
Never
cameo.
all of them
See
are.
that.
Even Harold Ramis comes back from the grave.
Oh Jesus!
He's in the movie.
Is he really?
Yeah. There's a bust of him, his head, in the
Oh.
background of a scene.
Wow. They didn't do like a Tupac situation or
Hologram.
They just linger on it for like a little too long. You're like, oh, I miss that guy.
I've never seen it, but I kind of want to.
Well, you don't like the original, so why would you see this one? Maybe it was Ghostbusters 2 you were talking about? I don't know.
Could be Ghostbusters 2 because that movie's not very good.
What with the painting and the guy like talks in a really weird accent?
No.
You don't what? No.
No.
And then the pink ooze in the sewer.
All right,
Come
let's
on.
get back to it. Start talking about trading places.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I have some issue with the whole premise of
Yeah?
this bet that they have.
Okay. What's the issue?
So you pick Eddie Murphy off the street and you put him in Dan Aykroyd's position. And the premise is that you could take any person, any Joe Schmo, and give them wealth, give them money, and they'll be successful and do well. How does just giving Eddie Murphy money and a house all of a sudden make him good at commodities trading?
I don't know, but he is good at it.
He is
How?
actually quite good at
How?
it.
He
is
figures
he
it
good
out.
at
He
that?
knows that people want ham on Christmas or whatever his big speech was.
Yeah, but he's like, no, people are going to wait another 10 minutes to buy pork bellies.
So I can agree that he might have some insight into that, but that doesn't give him insight in that moment to say hold off and buy it in a little bit. You have to do calculations.
He
and
knows
math to-
everybody in that company. He says it so. He
No.
finds that check from the guy.
Yeah.
Burks? What's his name?
Yeah, the PI, the dirtbag. I asked Brad about this actually when that scene happened. He's like going through doing like payroll during the Christmas party. Like, does this firm not have accountants that do that? Like, why is he personally handling
know.
that?
I mean, he's like given jobs that it's like saying, oh, just take anybody and they'll have the skills to do this job. That's not true. I mean, you need the training.
It
and
just
the
means you're
education.
siding with the other brother.
No, I'm not. What I'm actually saying is that I think that in the long term, yes, if you were to give people opportunities to be successful over the long term, yes, that would work. But it's not an overnight situation.
No, and I don't know that the movie's trying to make the point that anyone would have been able to do this. It might have just been that Eddie Murphy's character just turns out has a knack for this job.
Maybe.
Or something like that.
Maybe
I don't know.
that's true.
He's streetwise.
But no, I sort of agree with the bet that the one brother is originally making.
Mm-hmm.
Was not Mortimer, the other guy. We can't think
The one that has a heart attack.
The other Duke.
Yeah, the other Duke.
The one that dies at the end of the movie. He dies of shock from losing money.
Yeah, they lost all their money.
All their money.
How does that happen? They put all their money on this one thing, and because there's like,
Brad, you watched a whole video trying to explain it.
There's even like an ADR. It's not ADR line, but it's still put in after the fact where there's like, we put all of our money into this thing. It's like, why?
I told you we shouldn't put everything into this.
Yeah.
I told you we shouldn't have committed everything, you asshole! I've got to get Wilson and tell him to sell!
So the idea was because they were buying like crazy at the beginning, so they had to buy with their own money for that, and then then by the end of the day they had a bunch of orange juice that they bought at like $140, and it was only worth like $70 at the end of the day, so they lost a ton of money.
They bought it at like $142, and then it sold at the end of the day. It was like $29.
Yes.
So their $142 was just
still pretty good money, right? They get $29 per share.
I mean, they're not like
Andy. Tell us about
they're not flat broke.
And so, but
I mean, I guess they're not flat broke. But
what I thought was kind of weird was Dan Actroyd is selling orange juice right at the beginning of that scene.
And I'm
like,
so lost.
Is he selling orange juice he doesn't have, knowing he's going to buy at the end of trading to like cover the difference?
Okay, so here we're going to talk about this.
This
could
is
last.
the problem I have.
This could be the whole length of the podcast at the end of this, talking about this last scene of this film.
Let's do some Big Short talk right here.
So I thought you can't buy or sell shares that you don't have, right? I mean, well, you could buy shares. You can't sell shares that you don't have.
How is Dan Aykroyd selling anything?
Because he kept saying like, let's wait. So I figured
he did also. I mean, he did also take Jamie Lee Curtis's life savings when they left. So my assumption is that they used that to buy.
That must have happened.
The initial portion of whatever they were doing.
Okay.
And that's what they were selling at the beginning there. And then they bought them at the end at a super low price. So they did. I mean, because
we don't really know how shorting happened.
Because the idea, like I think the trivia mentioned it where the phrase is always buy low buy low, sell high, and they
buy high, sell low.
They did it in reverse. They
bought low.
They sold high and then bought low in that order.
Yes.
It's very complex at the very end there. I was wondering if you could do me and other viewers of the film a small favor. Can you describe to me in plain English why your character and Eddie Murphy's character win and the Dukes lose? There was a short taking place in Orange Juice Futures. Eddie and I were able to get information about what the Dukes were doing.
We want you to buy as much OJ as you can. The instant trading starts.
Don't worry if the price starts going up. Just keep buying.
And work the other side of the trade and basically screw up their short. As the Dukes were trying to corner the market because they were operating under false information. Yeah, you really have to know what you're doing to play in that game.
So they would have to buy first.
Wouldn't
they have to?
I'm curious to know if they were just straight up selling stuff they didn't own and knowing they were going to buy in the second half and it would cover the difference between the two.
How can you sell things you don't own?
Because the stock market, Andy, it's unregulated.
How do you pay
that
attention
stuff.
in that stock market pit? How people are putting papers all
bonkers.
over? What is going on?
I think you're buying and selling with individual people in that pit. So like you'll shout out like I want to sell this at $30, and then one other person was like I'll buy that at $30.
Yeah.
You guys make that exchange across a bunch of people.
And there's a really cool documentary actually that follows like some like rags to riches stories of guys because like you just had to get a broker license and you could go trade on the floor of the exchange. And like they talk about guys who like got lucky with some trades they made while they were on the floor and like got super rich off of it after nothing, and then they're all pretty much broke now because that job doesn't exist anymore. But there's like a whole series of like hand motions that people just sort of learn down there. Like it's like their own language in shouts and hand gestures. It's really crazy and makes no sense because they were selling orange futures at like 140.
Yeah, we got that. I just don't understand the technical aspects of the stock market in this movie. Like,
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of stuff in the stock market that you're like, Why can you do that? Like, there's a lot of, especially when you get into futures, that makes zero sense. Like, it seems like it shouldn't be allowed, and it is, and it seems like they're just creating money out of thin air with nothing. It's weird.
Well, there's like even buying and trading currency.
Yeah.
Like you can buy a currency that's like undervalued and expect it to be worth a lot more later down the road.
Like the U.S. dollar.
Whoa.
Yes.
Got him.
The yen, the ruble,
The rupee from Zelda.
the rupee. It's confusing.
I liked seeing a U.S. senator in this movie.
I did too.
Yeah.
Al
Is that the guy who did?
Franken.
Oh,
Senator Al Franken, one of the baggage handlers.
Yep.
I thought that was really funny. I was like, oh, I know that guy.
Future senator.
Future U.S. Senator Al Franken. I'm alarmed at the lack of alarm from many people about a manifest listing one gorilla and two gorillas showing up somewhere, and no one seemed like they made a point of one guy being like, "That's not right," and another guy being like, "Don't even bother caring about it." I'm like, these are gorillas. So you need to check with somebody.
How do you not recognize a gorilla costume? That mouth doesn't move.
Well, the baggage handler guy
going on here?
How do you not recognize those are both gorilla costumes too?
That's true.
One was significantly better than the other, but
Significance is a strong word, but yes.
Yes.
I would say slightly
relatively better.
Yes.
Relatively
in comparison
better,
to
yes.
the two.
Between the two.
Of higher quality.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not talking Congo quality yet.
And there is sort of a nonchalance in this movie about consigning a man to be forever raped by a gorilla.
There's a lot of things in this movie that just go by the wayside.
Did that gorilla's ding dong just like bust right through that costume?
Ripped right through it.
Do you see those eyes in that close up?
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
It's like, I think they're in love.
Oh, and I like at the end, when they zoom in on him and he's just like, this is my life now.
Being raped by a gorilla.
Being raped by a gorilla forever.
And they're being sent back to Africa. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's his life now.
It's some reintegration program. I was like, is this also racism?
Oh, boy. I thought Eddie Murphy, as much as I loved him, I thought in this movie, his character moved really fast from the original character at the beginning
Rags to riches.
Not, well, yeah, I mean,
Riches
he
to
literally
rags. We only have an
becomes the
hour and a
rich guy
half
in
to
a day,
tell this
but-
story, Andy. We gotta move these things along.
But like, he goes to the bar and he's like, "Everyone have a party!" And at that party is when he suddenly transitions into like, "Oh, now I care about things, and
He
now
does.
I'm very responsible."
It's
and it's
great.
like at one party he suddenly becomes a super responsible person who cares about stuff.
I can kind of see that.
I get
Like
it
he's
too.
given such a big opportunity.
I think it did allow him to kind of
huge.
take a step back and like look at what's going on and be like, "This is not
if
okay."
you
I
were
guess.
given a car and a house and what did he say, like $40,000-$50,000 a year?
Yeah,
and you
which
had nothing.
in today's
like,
money
you
is
would
like
want to
100 and
keep that
some.
as like hold on to that as best you can.
It was also explained to him. He like tries to steal his own stuff. In
Yeah,
the
that's
that
pretty
was so
funny. I thought that scene was so good.
They're
Where
like,
he's
no,
like,
you don't need.
"Oh
this is,
wow,
these
look
are
at how
your
great
things."
this place is!" Just putting stuff in his pockets. Like,
I love when he
Taking
broke
cigars.
that vase. He like threw it on the ground and he was like, that was worth $15,000 or $20,000.
But it had an insurance cost of this. He actually made us money just now.
"Oh, should I break some more stuff?" No.
Yes, that was great.
Yeah, that whole scene was like when he just doesn't believe what's happening. I did really enjoy all of that. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed every moment he was on screen. He was really funny. I thought how it was hilarious. Like all the rich people were really funny. Like at the club when like the four dudes are
Penelope.
just
That's the
singing
name of the girl.
song. Like
Boof was from Teen Wolf. That's the girl from Teen
so
Wolf.
Penelope's the fiance that
Penelope
ditches him as soon as
Yeah.
he's poor.
and she is quite fine.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
But
not
she
bad.
is such
She's
a snotty bee.
yeah. Looking 80s.
Yeah.
There's that really uncomfortable sexist song that all those men sing to those four women.
Yeah, barbershop quartet style, just sing a
Sexually harassing
a
women in public.
seriously-
Yeah, I hated that.
Yeah.
Didn't like that at
It was
all.
not okay.
No.
Susan down in Whitley Hall, Constance on the make, Constance Fry, anytime you'd call, Constance would fulfill your needs, winter, spring, or fall.
No.
And those girls were into it.
Yeah.
They were sitting there like, oh, this is the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
I was like, if I have to like go to a country club and hear this shit,
I'd be sitting there like,
I'm out.
not gonna that.
I ain't paying for this. We got a little Jim Belushi action in there.
Yeah,
we called that on part one.
Yeah,
we called
we
that
did.
on part one.
We did.
Way to bring that
Okay.
up again, dummy. I'm just messing. I'm just messing with you.
What's your favorite Jim Belushi movie?
None of them because he's an asshole.
Oh, Curly Sue's good. That was a trick question. Curly Sue's the right answer. That's a great movie. There's a moment where Curly Sue's like all mad at him, and she like he's like been looking for her all night, and she comes home and he's by the fireplace, and he looks real dramatic at her. You guys ever saw Curly Sue?
No.
Oh,
That's
what a good
John
movie.
Hughes. I think it's a John Hughes movie.
Yeah.
He did have a line I really liked. After like they steal the gorilla costume from him, and he like wanders back to the party, he does boxes and tank top, and he just opens the door. He's like, "Hey, what happened to me?" And everyone's like, "Ah!"
Yeah, I was like,
so funny.
Really?
So I thought that was really funny.
Can we have a New Year's Eve costume party? Is that like a thing where you just like reuse your Halloween stuff? That
Right?
sounds kind of sweet.
I know. I was like, this movie's going fast, and it's jumping between locations. It was in like Philadelphia, then Boston, then
Yeah.
New York.
It's all over the place.
One scene it was Christmas, the next scene it was New Year's. I was like, this movie's happening fast.
They don't mess around. I mean, like you said, you got an hour and a half. You got to
Yeah.
establish all this.
Crank
You got to
through
wrap it up.
When do you think this movie takes place? I'd guess a month. Just all
Yeah.
of December
Month.
into New Year's.
No way. This movie takes place over like a week.
That could be true as well. We don't know.
It starts like Christmas Eve and ends like, 2 days after New Year's.
You know, I don't know, and I don't care.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
You didn't like this film.
I didn't.
No.
I did.
No.
I liked it.
I don't know if I like it anymore, but it's whatever.
I liked it. I'm not.
kind of washed
I
over
would
me.
never go out of my way to own it or watch it. Like if it's on, I'd watch it. But
Why would you
it's-
own any movie in 2017,
That's
Andy?
fair. Well, to show my appreciation
What?
for the film, Bradley.
Like what movie?
Let's see. I own.
Fast
I
8?
just bought John Wick on Blu-ray.
Oh, you poor
I did.
man.
Actually, I bought John Wick 2 on Blu-ray too.
Wow.
We just bought Wonder Woman because that movie was very good.
Oh my gosh.
I still
Encourage
kind of
Studios.
enjoy buying movies. I don't do it very often, but I
Ugh.
kind of like it.
No.
Ooh, Brad did not
No,
like Wonder
no,
Woman.
no. Buy them digitally. Don't want a physical copy
They
of the
always
thing.
include a digital copy as well.
Just buy that though.
But why though?
Just rent it. How many? Like the problem with movies. This is a real big tangent. They aren't rewatchable. New movies aren't. You don't want to watch them more than one time. 2 if you're lucky.
I've watched John Wick, the first one, like 6 times.
You
Brad.
need to get a hobby.
I do. It's watching John Wick. That's my hobby. It's a very specific hobby.
If that's your hobby, then that's fine. But
I will say
no
that's,
one's gonna
that's
watch
like the first
new
movie
movies
I
more than
bought
once.
in a long time, though. And John Wick 2 was a gift to me, so I think that's the only other time I got own movies as if they're gifts to me. And my wife's the one that bought Wonder Woman, but I was fine with that because that was a good movie, and I want to support more movies.
no, that movie was fine, Andy.
Yeah.
Support smaller films that need to make money.
Well, that too.
You don't need to buy Wonder Woman to support the company.
It's not about It's not that I'm worried about the studio going under.
I wonder what.
But I want them to be like,
I need to buy it 'cause
I want
it might
them,
go
no,
under.
because I want the studio to be like, all right, we need this film to make at least 5 times its budget. All right, do that. I guess we'll do more. And with some movies, they really have to do well to encourage more. Even though like crappier movies that do less will get remakes because of the content of the film.
They make more money off your rental because it doesn't have to cost anything.
Well,
They never have to print the thing. Just rent it when you want to watch it. You have to watch it 4 times to get back the cost of buying it.
All right, I'll go to Family Video after this.
I got
Dang it,
a
Brad.
free rental coupon today. They just give them to you at Family Video.
You went to Family Video
I
today?
didn't, but they keep sending me texts for free movies. I don't know how they make money.
I passed by one that said "now hiring," and I was like,
It's a business model that's somehow
"Is it
still thriving.
1997?"
I get coupons all the time from them.
I can't believe they still exist. Like I understand they exist in like areas that have crappy internet.
This one didn't even have an adult
But-
film section. That's why I thought they were still around.
Yeah.
Because they sell those movies, but they don't.
Do
Not
people
this
still
one.
get those too?
Did you ask where's the adult film?
It's usually in
section?
the back. I looked
Yeah.
around for it because that's how I was like, how is this place still in business?
Because that's why Brad went there.
Of course.
And he's like, where are the movies I came to see? He watches them there. He doesn't even rent
In the
them.
back room.
Can you guys play this over the loudspeaker? I want to make sure it's a good copy.
There's an 8-year-old boy in there trying to.
What?
In the movie?
What the hell movie are you
Jesus
watching?
Christ.
Wait, in the movie? No!
You said in the movie.
No, I meant in the family video, you pervert.
You're the one who
I would
said
not
it.
classify those as family videos, Andy.
Maybe it's somebody's home movies that you stole.
Oh boy! All right, FBI's
You
coming
guys
to
are
get us.
just
Shut it
making me
down.
out to be a pedophile.
You're doing it fine yourself, buddy.
Shut it down, everybody. FBI's closing the podcast.
It's the last episode we didn't even get to do Highlander.
I can't wait for that.
Well, there can be only one.
I really,
And then this was it.
I really
This was
can't
the
wait
one.
for that episode.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for rating, liking, and subscribing to us on iTunes or whatever your podcast app of choice is. Our next episode has the tagline, Bob's a special kind of friend, the kind that drives you crazy. That's correct. It's What About Bob?
There are two types of people in this world. Those who like Neil Diamond and those who don't.
What is the crisis, Bob?
My ex-wife loves him.
Just when patient Bob Wiley was making progress,
Dr. Marvin, you can help me.
Dr. Leo Marvin was making other plans.
As of this afternoon, I'm taking my family on vacation until Labor Day.
But Leo's vacation is about to become
Dr. Marvin!
Bob's therapy.
Oh, I really appreciate this.
I do not see patients on vacation, ever.
We just gotta figure out a way to work around your schedule. 2 to 4, 3 to 5, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I don't want any of you letting Bob into this house.
He's a sweet guy. Could we invite Bob over for dinner? Would you like some more chicken, Bob?
Faye, this is so scrumptious.
Will you stop that, please?
Now, while Bob is getting better,
Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm a schizophrenic, and so am I.
Leo is taking a turn for the worse.
You're angry.
No, I don't get angry.
When you're upset.
Relax, Leo. Take a vacation.
I'm on vacation!
Touchstone Pictures presents Bill Murray
Hello, I'm Bob. Would you knock me out, please?
and Richard Dreyfuss
Don't you understand? This man is crazy!
in a totally insane comedy.
You've turned a perfectly peaceful house into an insane asylum! Get out!
Why'd you need to kick Bob out of the house?
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone!
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
What about Bob?
What are you doing with the rifle?
Death therapy, Bob. It's a guaranteed cure.